Everywhere, the government, the election, the economy, the stock market, GameStop, Parlor, Gab, MeWe, they're all being attacked. TechCrunch, Telegram. I'm really looking forward to Markethive stability so we can bring on all the upgrades. So we can go out there and
I'm with you on that.
let people know that there's not only is there an alternative, but a very strong, powerful, uplifting, filled with light alternative that endorses, embraces the entrepreneurial spirit and freedom of speech. It's interesting to watch because I clearly see there's like this attack on entrepreneurialism across the board. Chinese don't like it. The current administration doesn't like it. They pass laws to make it very difficult. So it seems to me that this rise of the entrepreneur is in direct opposition to the rise of communism. But I don't think communism ever has endorsed entrepreneurialism anyway.
Yeah, I think they're the opposite of each other.
Yeah. Well, isn't that just interesting? Here we are, 2021. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm so glad 2020's over. Folks, 2021 is going to make 2020 look good. They're just going to continue this attempt to put you under tyranny. And this is why we moved Markethive servers. We didn't move the servers. We just shut those servers down on Amazon and Microsoft and went and bought new servers in a country in Europe, and we're going to be buying more and more. And so we're configuring our own. We have our own servers now. We bought them. It's called a Colo, which builds our cloud. And we're just going through this disruptive time at the moment, disruptive period of time, getting this all polished. So it's kind of like the engines underneath Markethive are being replaced. We're not upgrading anything. We're completely rebuilding the entire engine underneath Markethive. New database systems, new application systems, and we're getting rid of all the APIs. That's application provider interfaces, third parties that we pay money to enhance what we do. And that's what we're going through. And it's taking us a little longer than expected. And occasionally we do shoot ourselves in the foot. Right, Douglas?
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah, didn't we just recently take a shot at our foot? Didn't we just delete a whole bunch of configuration or something?
Yeah, there's some settings that got reset back to the previous ones, and we caught those yesterday and rectified it. And then we rectified the root cause of it, so it won't happen again.
Right, and what was I going to say? I forgot.
The train of thought left the station and you weren't on it?
It did. Well, this upgrading of the system, we're also working on a complete redesign of the Markethive system in the process. And that is, we're creating a new type of newsfeed. And you've heard us talk about this before, but this really is very exciting. There's some things about Markethive I don't think most of you understand. First of all, we're a blockchain. And we have our own coin. That's unique. We're like, when you look at traffic on a company like ours that's a blockchain with a coin, we're like number 3 of the thousands of blockchains out there. We have way more traffic coming to us than like Monero or I'll name another one. Chainlink.
Yeah, Link.
Polkadot. We have a much bigger membership. So I mean, those are really, really important things for you to understand. That is really a foundation that we're building upon that makes us very strong, and with the potential of becoming a really big company or organization or platform, however you want to put it. And as we build this news feed, that will incorporate. Now we've come up. I mean, it's evolving. So now we have different categories of the newsfeed. So there's conglomerate, which means that's the default. So conglomerate means everything that's published into all the different types of newsfeed. We got a video, we have a curation, we have a blog, and we have the Twitter type newsfeed or Facebook type newsfeed. Well, now we have the conglomerate, so that if you're my friend and you see in your conglomerate newsfeed or the default newsfeed, I upload a video, you're going to see the video. I publish a blog, you're going to see the blog. I put some things into curation, you're going to see the curation. I publish to the newsfeed, you're going to see the newsfeed. So you're going to see them all kind of collected together. But you also be able to break them out. Maybe you just want to see the videos, or maybe you just want to see the curation. And what's really, really, really unique about Markethive that most people don't really capture is we've got an inbound marketing platform, which means we have an email system that delivers 99% of the time. Broadcasting, autoresponders, everything like Aweber. We have a capture page system, just like Aweber. The reason why do I mention Aweber? Do you know why I'm mentioning Aweber, Doug?
Aweber has been shutting people down.
Yeah, they are shutting Christians down. Christians that are aggressively promoting the gospel. Facebook's shutting Christians down too that aggressively promote the gospel. So this whole persecution of Christians that you find in the end times is beginning. And what is Markethive? We are a sanctuary. We are a bastion of free speech, of free religion, of entrepreneurialism. What a time for Markethive to finally get her feet underneath her and start to grow. In exactly the right time. And I've been working on it for over 20 years, wondering when is this all going to start to come together. And it seems like, maybe we're in that time now. And this would explain why we're doing what we're doing with the new server. Because when we get this thing built, correct me if I'm wrong, we'll be able to easily duplicate it and send it to another place like Belarus, and send it to another place like Ukraine, and send it to another place like Nigeria, and send it to another place like the Wind River Reservation in Wyoming, and send it to another place like Iceland, so that we could start duplicating our servers all over the world. Then we become deplatform proof. And that's very important, that we are able to sustain our system. Another thing that our system does, we have an inbound marketing platform, which means that you can broadcast, you can blog, you can email, you can create capture pages. All of that's built into Markethive, literally saving you thousands of dollars a month. And all of that is enhanced and opened up to no limits if you're an entrepreneur one. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But all this disruption that you're seeing right now is in preparation for all these things we see coming in 2021. We are bringing the wallet on real soon. You want to talk about that?
Yes, we are bringing on the wall. Where it kind of will be the pulse of what's happening inside of.
No, I said wallet.
Oh, wallet. I thought you said, well, we're doing the wall too. Yes. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
We have all the behind, like we've been saying on the Sunday meetings, we have all the underlining architecture and code done for the wallet. We have the API done, which means we can interface from us to outside systems like exchanges. And so the next thing is to just basically turn it on, which we'll be rolling out this year. First part of this year is our goal.
So that's really important for you to understand that. And there's so much to Markethive. It's a social network, but it's like a next generation social network. When I tell you that it has broadcast capabilities, most people have no clue what I'm talking about. They don't understand the massive power that exists. So give me your ear and let me explain to you. Maybe I can illustrate it with words so you can really understand the power of what the broadcasting means. Markethive is a social network. That means it literally has the ability to have hundreds of millions of people in it. Right now it has hundreds of thousands of people in it. somebody sees your blog, and they're more likely to see it now because we're shifting things into it all being in the news feed. And they like what they see, so they subscribe. Now, when you subscribe to my blog, it's going to ask you, do you want to subscribe your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your Instagram, your Pinterest, your Snapchat, your Periscope, whatever. So every time I publish, and you're subscribing to me with those social networks, my publication makes a thumbnail and a summary and publishes it to the news feeds on your social networks that you have subscribed to my system. Does that make sense so far? Right? That makes sense, right, Doug?
Yep.
Okay. So let's just say on the average that each subscriber in Markethive has about 5,000 followers. And let's say that 250,000 people that are in Markethive right now, let's say 10% of them subscribe to you. That's 25,000 times their 5,000 members. That's 125 million people who are exposed to your message, your video, your curation, your blog every time you produce. It shows up on 125 million people's news feeds. That's called reach. Markethive's potential for reach is into even a greater number than there is population on the earth because people have more than one account. Do you get this? Do you understand how powerful this is going to be in a dark world? Now, we're going to take this a little bit further, and this publication capability is going to be evolved into our plugin. Right now, we have a plugin for WordPress. So when you publish over here in Markethive, it shows up on your WordPress. Also, over in Markethive, you can see what kind of traffic you're getting on your WordPress because the plugin acts as a tracking device too. So again, saving you even more money. Some of you might be familiar with NextScript's Snap plugin. Well, we're going to have something similar to that where inside of Markethive, you put in there, these are the people that are subscribing to me, or these are my social networks that I have. So when that plugin goes into your WordPress, when you publish in Markethive and it publishes to your WordPress, it's your WordPress that publishes out to all the social networks. Not from Markethive, but from the WordPress. Do you know why that's really powerful and important? I'll tell you why.
Tell us.
I'll tell you why. Because let's say there's 250,000 people in Markethive that have a WordPress blog. That's 250,000 unique domains on 250,000 different hosting accounts with 250,000 different IP addresses. Now, if you're inside Markethive looking at it publishing out, you see the whole entire tree of publication, and it's massive. But if you're on the other side, let's say you're sitting there in LinkedIn or Facebook, and you look at that publication, you see it everywhere, but it's coming from this WordPress, that WordPress. It's coming from different WordPresses, from different colos, from different hostings, from different IP addresses, from different owners, in the numbers of the millions, making it virtually impossible to stop the message. This is what Markethive's been building. Do you see why we have opposition? Do you see God's hand in this? In a darkened world, there's going to be a system that's going to be able to break through the darkness and publish with anonymity. That's Markethive. So we are a social organization. I don't know if you notice this or not, but when I go into the news feed and I compare it to like Facebook and Twitter, over there's like drama, fighting. It makes me feel dirty. There's no harmony. It's all drama. It's drama and anger, and accusations and name calling. And I honest to God, I tell you, I didn't build Markethive to be some place where you go and you hear birds singing and You hear the fountains babbling and the creek babbling, and you smell honeysuckle and the nice breeze through the trees, and everything is just really clean and harmonious and singing and happy. But that's exactly what I see happening in the Markethive newsfeed, and I'm the big kahuna. I mean, I'm on I am everybody's friend, so I see it all, and I rarely, once in a while, I'll see maybe some small little negative thing, but nobody buys into it. Nobody ever bites on it. It just fades away. And as we move forward, building all the new news feed with all this, combining everything into one news feed, which is very unique. Nobody's ever built anything like this. We are 1,000 times better than any of the other social networks out there. It's just nobody knows about us. And I'll take a moment here to explain why the Entrepreneur One loyalty program is so important. You ever wonder why we give you so much in the Entrepreneur Program One? Why we give you all of our future projects, like our press release system, our video advertising system, our boost system, our broadcasting system. What's another one of them? What's the one that somebody asked in our meeting on Sunday? It's where we pay a bonus for being in all of our social networks. What was that called? I can't remember.
Yeah, what was that called?
You're no good.
I know. You got a brain freeze too.
You got the same brain as I do. Bounty program.
Bounty. That was it.
Yeah. Nobody's got anything like that. Where we charge for like a press release. And kind of think like a Bitcoin faucet. So we charge for a press release a lot. I mean, you go look at what does Cointelegraph charge for a press release? About $10,000. So we charge for a press release. Our press release will be publishing out to all the social networks that subscribe, and all those social networks that people are subscribing to that come from within Markethive. We know they are, and so they all get a small amount of revenue from that press release. That's the bounty program. So everything within Markethive is designed to share the profits with you and reward you for the behavior, the good behavior that you do. And the Entrepreneur One program is going to have all of those built into it. No, but once the Entrepreneur One program ends, and when I mean ends, it no longer is available. So those people who have it and keep it, that's a legacy thing. Nobody else will be able to get the whole pie. Only Entrepreneur One gets the whole pie. Why do we do that? Douglas, do you know why we are doing that? Why it's called a loyalty program?
Yeah, because you're basically our partners with Markethive.
Yes, and
we're rewarding you for being loyal to Markethive.
And come on, it's right there in front of you. We have disruption right now, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why we give you such great loyalty, give you great benefits in the Entrepreneur One program, is so that while we're going through these disruptions, you understand that there is a future with the Entrepreneur One program that's huge, and you're also getting a share of our revenue in the ILP program with it. And part of the reason we do that is so that you stick with us even through the tough times like we're in right now. It's not like you're paying $25 a month for a email program and it's not working. You're paying $100 a month for a loyalty program that is going to guarantee you revenue upon revenue upon revenue with all our money machines like the BICs. So I just want you all to understand that through the thick and through the thin, we're going to get to a point where this company is going to explode and be extremely successful. It's bound to happen. It's ordained to happen. It is a vision, something we've been working on tirelessly for many, many years, all the way back to Veritech to now. A lot of the technology we have today comes from technology that we built 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So that's the whole thing behind the whole concept of the loyalty program. Yeah, maybe you can't get into the site today. Yeah, maybe the banner program isn't up to snuff right now. Yeah, maybe you can't get to the news feed right now. Yeah, maybe your capture pages aren't working right now. Yeah, maybe this may not be working. Maybe the plugin isn't working correctly today. Many of these things may not be working today, but they will be tomorrow or the next day. So those of you who stick with us through the thick and the thin, we're getting really close to the. So once the wallet is released, we're no longer beta. Once the wallet's released, marketing and advertising kicks in. Once the wallet's released, we're in the exchanges. And once we're in the exchanges, after that settles down and we build a 3-month average type of a thing, then everything in Markethive will be paid for with Markethive coin. We will evolve to that point. So the entire system of Markethive is truly the vision and the promise of the ecosystem. There is no real. I mean, Steemit came kind of close to an ecosystem, but they really aren't. We are. And I just want everybody to know. The dream is alive, the vision is real, and we're moving forward, and we're going to produce a God world-shaking system that is going to rise up, and it's going to be seen, and it's going to be heard, and it's going to be impenetrable. And it is built by you, we the people. By the people, for the people. That's truly what Markethive is. It is built by the rank and file. So I just want everybody to know that. Yeah, right now I'm sure Douglas is a little weary from this path that we're on right now, setting up our own server. So you want to talk about, you want to kind of like elaborate on the technical side?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, as we've been talking about, we've migrated to our own cloud, and that went once we got it dialed in, it went very well. And then we had there's a few things that's happened this past week. There's a couple websites that were just flood traffic, and come to find out it's some of those lead programs was part of it. And one was the IP address we just really didn't recognize, and so we were able to block those. So that and put in basically a monitor to make sure that if a new one pops up, it'll throttle it, so it won't keep you guys out of the system. And we're growing too, and we have it means our database is getting bigger, and so we're continually taking our database and optimizing it. We're actually rewriting the activity, which is the newsfeed query right now, and the blog query, because they're a little slow. And so we put some indexes in to make it faster. And we're actually also implementing some code changes to optimize it. We have an SQL expert that is helping us with it, pointing out things that are running slow and giving us ideas on how to make it go faster. So that's also happening at the same time. And then we're in about a week, we'll be moving our database. Our database is on a shared cloud right now, and we'll be moving it to our own dedicated server. And then we'll have 100% control of everything within our own environment. And so when we have these peaks and such, we will be able to address them very quickly.
All right, I want to interrupt you right now. People may not have heard you say that we're on a shared server with our database. I want to explain to people. When it comes to hosting, most people are on a shared server. That means one server, limited processors, limited memory, limited hard drive, has 100 people utilizing that server for their WordPress blogs or whatever they have. And for the most part, if you don't have any traffic, which most people don't, and a lot of demand on it, it works just fine. But the moment you start having traffic like we do, being in that shared experience, brings it all to its knees. Now, when we first started out on this venture of having our own servers, the engineers had us sitting on a shared server, and they had everything put over there, just like we had on the Amazon Azure servers, and it all worked just fine because they weren't taking into consideration the fact that our traffic was going to put a demand on our processors. So that's when they flipped the switch and everything kind of came to a screeching halt when they realized, oops, we need to have our own dedicated servers. So as we've moved over to the dedicated servers, you have seen an incredible increase in performance. And that's why. Well, part of this performance bottleneck right now is our database is sitting on a shared server. So that also tells you that when we get onto our own dedicated server for that, the speed of our website, my promise to you is this, and my goal is this, and I'm breathing down Douglas' neck about this. I want our system to be in the upper 5% of the fastest websites on the internet. And we are going to get there. All right, go ahead. Sorry for interrupting, but a lot of people don't really realize what a shared or dedicated is. So I just
Got it.
Okay, go ahead.
So we're in that process also. And there's attacks going on too with denial of service and those pop up every once in a while, and then we also have a worldwide internet outages sporadically going across the world and slowing things down. So all of this is accumulating to what you're experiencing right now. The great part is we have basically 24/7 people working on it and looking at it and monitoring it and fixing it and tweaking it. And making sure that we keep trimming the fat so we can be a very high performance, lean and mean website. And so that's the positive side of things. And, every day we're improving our system and our code and our performance. I could leave it at that.
Yeah, and those who know are very appreciative of what you're doing. So the reason why I wanted to make this recording, so everybody know, kind of get up to date with this disruption that we're going through. And it's not just, we don't know what we're doing, or, we're in a rough spot. It's because we're climbing a huge mountain right now to get us to a point where we can start replicating these servers all over the world. As soon as we've got like a couple in North America, a couple in South America, a couple in Africa, a couple in Australia, a couple in Malaysia, a couple in Korea, etc. A couple in Russia, a couple in the Middle Europe, a couple in Europe, etc. Then the speed and the access of Markethive will be lightning fast. And in conjunction with all this, we're building apps. You want to tell them about our very first? I think our first app, I think we talked about this, is actually going to be a verification app. It's like you sign up in a Markethive. We're improving the login and sign up process too. Where
I could jump in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we're going to provide basically we're streamlining it and making it easier to get in, and the apps will be a critical part of that, where you could basically go to the website on your desktop or laptop and put in your username and say log in, and it'll send a code to the app, and you just enter that code and you're in. So you don't have to worry about if you're logged into the social media system that you signed up with or any of that stuff. So you'll be able to do it that way, and then those that don't have the app will be able to go either through their social network, or they can be emailed a link that will get them in, or they can use their user or their email and an actual password to get in.
Right.
So it'll all be in one little box, and it'll be very easy to use, and we'll really make that so you don't have to jump through a bunch of hoops to log into the system.
Okay, so wrapping it up, those of you who have Internet One or Entrepreneur One accounts, we are most thankful, and I'm sure that once we get through this disruption, there will be some type of really nice bonus for all of you. Those of you who had Entrepreneur One accounts, reactivate them. There'll be a nice bonus for you on that as well once we get through this disruption. And once we get through this disruption, how soon are we going to be launching the apprentice program?
I mean, that's basically,
That's ready, right?
yeah, it's ready. We just got to dust it off and turn it on.
Yeah, we got to polish up the shopping cart, which is a new thing
Yep.
that we're bringing too. So once that's launched, then you can count on the fact that the Entrepreneur One program will come to an end. Those of you who are active with it will keep it. It just won't be available anymore. We're not going to give away once we get to these certain points. Once we're no longer in beta, we're not going to give away the kitchen sink and everything else for the $100. That's for you early adopters and you loyalty members. You're going to get so much benefit out of that as we move forward to becoming a multi-billion-dollar platform. The rest of you are going to be able to get really amazing benefits out of Markethive as well with the apprentice program. And there will be more programs that come behind that, and more development of Markethive's capabilities and power and reach. Because after all, the only thing that darkness cannot prevent, and that is light. And Markethive is built with light. It's our job to beam bright, righteous light into the world. Thank you. Thank you, Douglas.
Thank you.
And I will wrap it up here. Thanks. Bye.